What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the Notre Dame preview against North Carolina Tar Heels. This is a Friday matchup at 3:30. Guess Black Friday people have work off, so they got games all day on Friday, Saturday, just throughout the weekend. It's a good sports week Thanksgiving time, so we'll get to enjoy this matchup on a Friday. Unfortunate news involving Notre Dame with the offensive line as we were originally down one starter for the year, losing Jarrett Patterson, our pretty solid center with lots of experience for the season, which obviously sucks. We'll have a huge role in some of these upcoming games. It's tough, but injuries happen, and we got to be resilient enough to deal with them. But we also just found out that we lost, I believe it's Tommy Kramer, who will be out, the offensive guard, who had to get his appendix removed, from what I read, which is very unfortunate. He's going to miss some time. I don't know how much. Hopefully, it's only a game or two max, and he can at least be fully healthy and geared up to go for an ACC championship game if we get to one. Knock on wood, hopefully we do. We should. But hopefully, you never know. So, this is our toughest game left, if you ask me. After this, we have Syracuse and Wake Forest, both beatable for sure. Obviously, you never know with football, which is the unfortunate part, so I'm going to be stressed every game no matter what. But this is a ranked matchup, probably it will be guaranteed our final ranked matchup of the regular season. There's no way that Wake or Syracuse find a way into the rankings. So this is a good shot to pad our resume a little bit against a pretty good North Carolina team. The last couple games, North Carolina has been on a roll, winning these games. They've been putting up a boatload of points every game, guaranteed pretty much. They do have losses, though, mainly because of their defense. This team is still very, very good. I think the two losses are just unfortunate for them. Both close, including a 3-point loss to Virginia, where they still scored 41 points. And their worst game was probably that 3-point loss to Florida State, where they put up 28 points, which is the lowest of the year. But they put all 28 up in the fourth quarter to almost come back. So, but the last two games, 56 and 59 points is very impressive. They held Duke to 24, so a decent job by the defense for once, which you don't see too often. They've done it twice now against NC State and Duke. They've held a team to under 30 points. But their last game against Wake Forest, they allowed Wake to put up 53 points. But to be fair, give Notre Dame credit here. They have not played a defense anywhere close to the level of Notre Dame. Notre Dame currently only allows 16.6 points per game, which is way higher than anyone they've faced. So that is the pivotal matchup when we look at this game. It is the fact that Notre Dame's defense top 5 in the nation, if you ask me. I think a lot of people would agree to that, who gives up 16.6 points per game and 219 pass yards per game, is going to go up against this North Carolina offense that is averaging 43 points per game. They are explosive on offense. Sam Howell's a legit quarterback, 2,631 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 6 picks so far this season. Their running backs are very, very good. Williams is their main one, I believe, with 868 yards and 15 touchdowns. But he also splits carries, and both guys are very, very effective. Receiving, obviously, they got yards. They have weapons with the fact that Howell has that many yards. So guys like Brown, I think it's Dewami Brown or something like that, has 829 yards and 8 touchdowns already on the year. Offensively for Notre Dame, though, they're not slouches, you could say. The last two games, they've proven they can put up points. They currently average 37.6 per game, and this North Carolina defense gives up 30.8 points per game on average, which means Book should hopefully have a field day with this offense. Look for maybe Kyron Williams will run all over him, something like that. That'd be very enjoyable. Obviously, there's a factor, like I said, we're down 2 offensive linemen. So, redshirt freshman, true sophomore, Zeke Correll will be playing center. Correll has pedigree. We're O-line U for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, we know how to recruit players, and Correll, coming out of high school from the 2019 class, was a very high 4-star, ranked the number 3 offensive center. I don't know why it says OC. The number 3 center in the nation, number 3 prospect in Ohio, and the top 100 player nationally, being 95 in the composite and 81 from 247. So the kid's got serious talent. I think he will do decent. It's just obviously when you're a young kid playing for the first time, it takes some adjustment, some learning to do it, especially when it's your first starts in your college career. We beat out Ohio State for this kid, so he's a legitimate talent. So, sorry guys, brief intermission. I had to handle something. What was I saying? Just defense. Our defense is fantastic. We'll talk about that a bit. We'll get into some impact players. I've kind of already mentioned these guys who we're going to look out for. One sec. Let me see this. Okay, I got total numbers still, so I want to see what their defense is doing. So their defense appears to be pretty bad on both sides of the ball because they give up 261 yards passing per game on average, but they also give up 151 rush yards per game on average. So I would look for Kyren Williams and Chris Tyree and even Sebo if he's healthy enough to go to have pretty good efficient days against this North Carolina defense. I think that if Notre Dame was smart, that'd be their game plan, is win the time of possession battle, because obviously North Carolina's biggest weapon is their offense. So if you can keep them off the field, that's better for you. I think we should look for Notre Dame to probably pound the rock as much as possible. They have beastly running backs, and obviously with new linemen, if maybe I don't know what would be easier technically, but I think if you don't have to have them rely to protect the in-book and you can just have them run block if they're still efficient at it, which I would assume they are. I best believe, to me, if you ask me, Notre Dame's going to have those kids ready. Correll and Lug. Lug's very experienced. I mean, he's like a fifth-year guy. He's been plugged in multiple times. He finished the season for Eichenberger Hainsey last year, started in like 5 games and did an excellent job. So I'm not worried about him filling in at guard for Kramer at all. Correll's the question mark, but like I told you already, super talented kid, number 3 center in the country, high 4-star, beat out Ohio State, legit talent. He has had a year to redshirt and develop under this Notre Dame system, and I mean, he'd be the starter one day eventually, so now he gets to prove himself a little bit early, and hopefully it works out well. I have faith that they will get it done. We are offensive line U for a reason. No question, no debate. Come at me like Iowa and Wisconsin fans. You got like 2 guys, so shut up. But either way, it's just the truth. You guys know it. Come on, we're O-line U. I would be surprising if they had very bad games. But also, like I said, in our favor, the new guys starting get to break in against a pretty bad defense. There's no debate. I think even North Carolina fans would admit they have a bad defense. They have some decent players. I mean, they have a great name in Storm Duck, I believe, on their defense, but they give up a lot of points, and they're not particularly good at stopping the run or the pass. As I mentioned, 151 rush yards per game, 261 pass yards per game given up. While Notre Dame's defense in the past has been struggling a little bit, giving up 219 pass yards per game is not great. The run defense has been effective, and they'll still want to shut down these North Carolina running backs that are incredibly talented. But Howell can kill us through the air, so we got to be careful. The secondary really needs to step up. Hamilton's really been the only guy who's pulled his own weight. Some of these corners keep getting beat at times, and Crawford's been making some plays, but he's also been giving up some plays. So it's tough. We just need them to continue to grow and get better and better. McLeod's decent. Just got to hold his own against these talented. It's the toughest challenge of the day will be for our secondary against their wide receivers. That's like the pivotal matchup, if you ask me. Clarence Lewis has officially won the starting spot, at least from the depth chart. It used to be Tyreek Bracy or Clarence Lewis, which meant, they always kept Bracy up top, but they're saying, hey, Lewis gets playing time too. He could be a starter. Now, Lewis is on top, and there's not even an or listed, which just, at least off the depth chart, it shows that he's officially won the second corner spot. So shout out Clarence Lewis. He was actually our lowest ranked corner commit of the 3 we had in this 2020 class, and he's starting to making impacts right away. So shout out. Goes to show sometimes these stars don't matter all the time. Obviously, you do want 4 and 5 stars. I mentioned it with Corral. That pedigree goes to our favor with him getting his first start. But guys like Lewis exist all the time, and if you find them, they're very valuable. So shout out Clarence Lewis, man. 3-star grinder, starting already as a true freshman. Not a lot of people would see that coming. I just want to give credit where credit's due. Dude's a beast, and we'll hopefully just get better and better. If he's starting now, he'll definitely be starting for us next season. So shout out Lewis. We also landed a new corner commit today, just in case anyone didn't know. JoJo Johnson out of Indiana. Speed demon, bro. His high school coach, it's not official, but he was claiming that he ran a 4.40. So that's great speed for the future, but that's unrelated. I just got excited about that commitment and wanted to talk about it for a second. Okay, back to I ramble too much, guys. I'm sorry. Back to the game. I think I've covered most of it. I mean, Notre Dame's 5-point favorites on the spread. That's nice. Gives us a little confidence. Could be bigger, but this North Carolina team is awesome. Legit. I mean, they're good. They're good. They talk a lot of trash though, so hopefully we can shut them up. Somehow, Howell keeps saying they're going to score on will against this Notre Dame defense. So I hope the Notre Dame team, that defense, and Clark Lee is hearing that, and they're using it as motivation to come out and wreck Howell. I want our pass rush to get home. I don't know much about that that offensive line they have at North Carolina, but I do know about our defensive front, and they are legit guys who have the talent to get it done. If you look at some team stats for North Carolina real quick, guys, sorry, we can see how many times, I would think it'd show me how many times Howell's been sacked. Yes. Okay. So Sam Howell has been sacked 22 times, which shows that maybe we can get some work done against him. So, yes, I would look for our defensive front to get home. For comparison, let's see. Book's been sacked 13 times. So, Howell's been sacked almost double what Ian Book has, and that's loans to our favor. Let's see who... Look at this defense a little bit. Let's see who's been getting home for Notre Dame and who's our guys. Foskey, Ade, and Hayes all have more than 3 sacks. Foskey and Ade have 3.5, with Hayes having 3. It's really impressive for Foskey when you consider he's the rotational guy. He is not starting. He doesn't get the lion's share of the snaps, but he comes in and gets after it. So look for that combo, that trio right there, that deadly trio right there of Ade, Hayes, and Foskey to get after the man Sam Howell. Like I said, our DBs are decent, but they're not the best. They have room for improvement, that's for sure. You know what I mean? It's just the reality. I love them, though. I'm not trying to be a hater on our secondary, but the truth is these past 2 games have been rough for them, especially Clemson, where they scored 40-plus, and DJ set records against us throwing. So you don't want that. And obviously this is a pass first offense, if you ask me. Those running backs are legit, like I said. Carter and Williams both have 800 plus yards together, 15 touchdowns from Williams. So look, our run defense has been solid though, so I'm hoping we can shut them down. I mean, we shut down ETN, held him to 30 yards, but obviously I think this is where we'll have to pick and choose if we want to really focus on shutting down the pass game or if we want to shut down the run game again. That's up to the coaching staff to decide. Either way, the defense as a whole just has to step up and stop both, because that's how football games work. But it'll be interesting to see what they target more. If they stack the box or put more DBs out there, time will tell, right? So yeah, sack wise, look for the D line, because sometimes the best secondary is a pass rush. So if we don't give Hal time to let routes develop, it won't matter if our secondary is struggling. So that's another impact. This defense versus offense is the matchup this week. I do think our offense can score too, though, so don't get it twisted. I don't want it to go into a shootout, but I do think our offense is capable of going to a shootout, especially when you consider that they're playing North Carolina's defense, which to say has been unimpressive is just the truth. If we look at North Carolina's defense, let's see if they have a pass rush. They do. They really do. So they get after the quarterback, so shout out to them. They kind of impressed me a little bit with that. They still give up a bunch of points, but they blitz their linebackers is what it looks like, as Chaz Surratt and Tom Fox, both linebackers, lead the team in sacks with 5 and 4.5 respectively. They have guys on this defense, as I mentioned, Chaz Surratt being one of them. He will be somewhere between the 1st and 3rd rounds, probably 2nd and 3rd if you ask me, more likely draft pick in the NFL this upcoming draft, which is impressive. If it comes to interceptions, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7, 1 each from a bunch of different guys. So not bad, nothing crazy there though. I would imagine their secondary does have issues as they've been abused. So these numbers are decent, but they're also just the reality is what it is. I've read those team stats on defense, and they give up a lot of yards passing and rushing and points in general. Offense, it's Diami Brown is who you have to look out for. He has clearly now emerged as their top guy, giving 829 yards and 8 touchdowns already on the year. Daz Newsome is who I would have thought would have been their top option coming into the season, but it looks like he's kind of taken a step back. But obviously, we can't sleep on him. He's still an effective weapon. 455 yards, 4 touchdowns on the year off 34 receptions. After that, there is a pretty significant drop-off, though, in terms of yardage and receptions. But those are two guys you got to have to shut down. So McLeod and Lewis are going to have pretty tough jobs. It'll be interesting to see what we do. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton's an impact guy. We can double. We can use him, or Crawford. We can double up Brown maybe, or maybe you have to keep a guy like Hamilton in the box, as that's kind of what we did to shut down ETN, and you might have to stay in that box to shut down Diami Brown. So there's a lot of scheming stuff going to be interesting, but I have faith in Clark Lee. I mean, with the bye week, we can't come out awful. Last year, we came out of a bye week against Michigan and laid the biggest dud I've ever seen. Obviously, I hope that does not happen this time. It can't happen this time. This team is too special to allow that to happen. I truly believe that. This is a legit team. So we talked about that Notre Dame defense and North Carolina offense. We also briefly mentioned that North Carolina defense. So before we end this video, let's hop in and focus on... Sorry. Shout out Bang Energy, right? Sponsor. Nah, I wish though. Hey, Bang, give me free drinks, okay? Thanks. Offensively, I already told you what I would hope Notre Dame does. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but I think getting to the run game again will be huge. I think we can do it against this North Carolina defense, and Kyren Williams hopefully will have a field day. He is my impact player on offense, just for sure. I think if we run the ball super effectively, that's a huge difference maker in this game. As like I said, if we run the time of possession, we can control the game because we won't let... Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. I do have faith in our defense too, don't get me wrong, but like I said, it's just obvious if North Carolina's offense barely gets to see the field, they can't put up a bunch of points. So hammer the ball, chew clock, score points, and defense do the job when you have to, and it's a huge recipe for success there. Obviously, Tyree's effective too, averaging 5.7 yards per carry, which is coincidentally exactly the same yards per carry as Williams. Sebo also averages 5.5. So that three-headed monster at running back, we can rotate him in and keep him fresh, and I think they'll all have good days against North Carolina on Friday, if you ask me. Receiving-wise, they've done better the last 2 games. We have passed the ball more than we have done recently against Clemson and BC. We put up points throwing the ball. I think we can do it again today if we need to, but I would hope we'd focus more on the run. That being said, if we don't, McKinley, Davis, Skoranek have both they've all started to emerge recently, with McKinley making good catches, Skoranek doing a lot of contested catches, finally getting that jump ball chemistry going with Book, and it's paid off hugely. I mean, dude had 3 touchdowns against Boston College last week. You love to see it. He did fumble once, so don't do that. Do not fumble anymore. Too many fumbles against BC. We can't afford to turn the ball over against an offense as deadly as North Carolina, so that's obviously a huge impact. Do not turn the ball over this time, all right? No missed snaps on handoffs, Tyree and Book. No fumbling when the ball's already in your hands with Skoranek. I'm pretty sure we also fumbled a fumble recovery. You don't want that to happen either. So hold on to the ball more, guys. That's hopefully, I would imagine they're emphasizing that in practice this week after what happened last time. But like I said, Davis has emerged as well. All 3 guys are playing better. Michael Myers still a beast. I think it'll be interesting to see who they have cover him, if it's a safety or if maybe Chaz. I don't know how good he is in coverage. He's a pretty solid linebacker, though. Maybe they'll have him follow. Either way, we have the weapons. Lindsey might be back. I think they're going to work him in a little bit. Obviously, I don't think he'll play a lot of snaps, but hey, just having him back on the field as a speed weapon, a speed demon, is a good thing to have going for you. Jonathan Doerr's still been lights out for the most part. He has missed more field goals than I would have thought. 12 for 16 isn't fantastic, but most of the ones he's missed have been further out. 40 to 49 yard range and 150-plus yarder, so not great, but he is pretty solid. He's a solid kicker. We all know that, so not going to get him superstitious, I guess, but I hope he does well for us. So my offensive impact player for us is Kyren Williams. Like I said, my offensive impact player for North Carolina is basic, but is their quarterback, Sam Howell. He's going to have to make plays against this Notre Dame defense, avoid the pass rush, and he's going to have to carry his team like he normally does if he wants to get a win Friday, because we all know his defense is unlikely to do that for him. So there you go, guys. Those are kind of my impact players on offense for North Carolina. You got Sam Howell on defense for North Carolina. You got to go Chess Surratt, the NFL quality prospect they have on their defense. For Notre Dame, I'm going with Kyron Williams. And on defense, defense is tough, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna go Hamilton because obviously Owusu will play a huge role too, but I think I use both of those guys a lot, but this time I feel like I'm gonna go Hamilton because obviously he's gonna play an important role in two aspects. Playing in the box and stopping the running attack of Javonte Williams and Michael Carter, and in coverage stopping Dynamic Brown in that dynamic pass game. So he has an important role all game, no matter where they put him. They put him deep, they put him close. He's got a very important job. Obviously, he's him and Owusu are 1 and 2 and our best defensive players, both future first-round picks, if you ask me. And so they have pivotal roles coming up Friday. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I forgot. Score prediction. I think they'll put up points. Hopefully we limit them. I'm going to say, I don't know, guys. This is tough. I'm going to say we win 38-28. I say we win by 10 points. They still get 4 touchdowns, but our defense does its job, gets after Hal, disrupts him a bit, shuts down some of these players, and we get points up on the board because North Carolina's defense is bad. I think we should be able to score 38 points. So I know what you think. Maybe that's too bold of a score. Maybe it's closer than I want it to believe, but I have faith this team can get it done. Let's not come out like garbage off a bye week like we did last year. Please, Kelly, get this team ready to go. This team has the playoff potential, and I don't want to freaking ruin it again. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know who your impact players are if you agree with what I said. And anything you disagree with either, feel free to comment below. Any Notre Dame related comments, I will gladly respond. I love talking with you guys about sports and sports in general with basically anyone. That's why I do these videos to begin with. Over here, as you can get a playlist of all my Notre Dame videos, my previews, and my post-game reactions. Plus, I did positional breakdowns in the preseason if you want to go back and look at what I had to say about some of these players before the season even started. Over here, as you can subscribe, click the button and the bell. Please, it'd mean a lot to me. I'm trying to get to 140 subscribers somewhat soon, and the bell just means you can know when these Notre Dame videos come out right away. And over here is just a random video of mine that YouTube has decided to recommend for you. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is KMA Preston signing out. Go Irish.